Hey everybody, Matt Barton, Principal Broker at Remax Associates. Hey, Q1 for 2023 is now in the books, and that means there's some good data that we have in regards to not only what happened in the market, but what we can expect going forward. And wanted to share some of that with you in this context. All of us from time to time, hopefully more frequently than not, get some version of the following. And I call it the golden question, right? It's how's the market doing? What's going on in the market? Isn't it crazy? Are you worried? I mean, my gosh, you're in real estate, aren't you? Should I buy right now? Should I sell right now? There's a whole plethora of questions that we get asked. And I'm hoping the message today will give you some context so you can answer those questions not only correctly, but with context and with confidence. So I'm going to put on my screen here. This is utahrealestate.com, and this is data for the entire state. The blue line is what has been happening over the past 5 years with median sales price. The green line is at any particular quarter, how much inventory we have, and the black line is how many solds. Now, the first thing I want to point out to you quickly is if you look, you can see a rhythm in this, right? As we pass through a year. And the typical rhythm is when we hit Q4 to Q1, there's a pretty big drop off on the number of sales. You can see it in the next year, pretty big drop off, huge drop off, right? Um, and even, in 2021, we had a big drop off, but we get to 2022, here's the Q4 to Q1, no drop off. We flatlined. Part of that is because we went pretty low in from Q3 to Q4, but we didn't experience the drop off on the number of sales. So a rough translation for that is people always have to buy and sell in any given market. Now, sometimes it gets a little delayed because people are hesitant, but eventually you settle in on some baseline of what is just necessary in the day-to-day business. And I think that's what we're seeing right here is people gotta still buy and sell. And so the number of souls did not go down. We've kind of hit a floor of this is kind of the bare minimum number of transactions we have to do in the state of Utah to keep people alive. So now I'm going to share with you some that I have screenshotted. The same graph that you were just looking at, I wanted to make this point. This yellow line reflects what has happened to the median sales price over the past 5 years. And it includes the peak going up to a $535 or $532,000 median sales price, and then over the last year correcting back to 468. I'm not doing the line up to the peak. I'm doing the line to where we currently are. And so my notes here are applicable. 5 years of ownership, median sold price increased 188,000 or 67.2% in 5 years, right? This includes the drop in the past 4 quarters. The point is this: if you take price appreciation, which we just said is 188,000, and you were to add in mortgage interest rate deductions on your taxes, assuming a 20% tax bracket or something reasonable about like that, there's about $7,500 per year in taxes you don't pay. That's $7,500 over 5 years into your pocket that you would not have. Right? So you combine that with 188,000 and the real return on investment is 81%. 81%. Now, that's not even the exciting piece of data to share with people. Most of the time when you talk a return on investment, it's I put $1,000 in, how long did it take me to earn back my $1,000? The unique thing about real estate is I had to put 5% of the money in for the investment, right? So back in first quarter of 2018, I didn't put 200. I could have bought cash, but most people go and they're like, all right, FHA 3.5%, conventional 5%. So let's go with 5%. So I had to put $14,000 down, $14,000. And yet 5 years later, my home has appreciated almost $200,000. So $14,000 grew to almost $200,000 more. And that's before taking into consideration the money that was saved, the $35,000 that was saved in taxes not paid. Okay, not the big point I want to make here. I'm going to quickly go through 4 counties to just show you what has happened in each of those counties. All right, so here we are, Utah County, starting in the south. Their sales price from Q4 to Q1 has dropped 6.2%. So it's still doing some correction. but the number of sales is actually increasing. It's not flatlined. Normally, remember, we go down significantly in this period, and we're actually going up. So those of you that have stayed busy through Q4 into Q1, you know there's a good amount of activity out there. And then also just to take our current sales price and just kind of march it back to when were we last at this median sales price? And in this case, it was fourth quarter of 2021. So the sky is not falling. Yes, there's a correction. Just remember, context for people who don't deal in this day to day is so very important. Same thing, except in this case on Salt Lake County, number of sales went down 2.1%, almost flat. And again, compared to normal fourth quarters to first quarters, which dropped precipitously. All right. And then as far as the sales price, stayed absolutely flat. Again, another indicator that we've probably hit some type of a floor. Okay. Then we go to Weber County. Same data. I'm not going to go through this on each one. You can look and see this and rewatch this. But yeah, they're up 0.5% on their sales median sales price, and their activity has gone up almost 10%. Nice job, Weber. And then the last one, Davis County, their sales price still correcting a little bit, 3.1%, and they're almost flat on fourth quarter sales to first quarter. So coming full circle, don't fall victim to the echo chamber of people saying, oh my gosh, the market's crazy. Actually, this is what we've been waiting for, is some level of stabilization, things kind of leveling out. And that typically means that the public starts to feel safer about the industry. So if you're going to read anything from this last quarter, we're having that stability. And in fact, I think we're already starting to turn the corner where people are like, is what it is. Money's come back a little bit as far as the price of money. Builders and others are still offering great incentives. So I hope when you get asked that golden question now, how's the market doing? What's going on? Should I buy? Should I sell? You're now equipped with some data to back up telling them it actually is a pretty good market. So good luck going forward in Q2, and happy hunting.